You're watching a segment of The Splash, Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Sheena Monnin, and here with me on the show this week is Gene Shieh, Keego Harbor Police Officer. Thank you so much for being here, Officer Shieh. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
We are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is having fun in the summer months, out on the water, all things boating. But before we can enjoy the boating experience, apparently there are a lot of things that we need to make sure are in place so we can enjoy it safely. Tell me a little bit from your expertise, some of the most common things that boaters tend to forget when we're going out on the water.
Those are great questions, and we do get many phone calls from the residents, both in the West Bloomfield area and also the Tri-City. Most important thing is equipment, especially Memorial Day weekend coming up. Everyone's prepping their boats, making sure they have the proper equipment, and we want to make sure they have life jackets on. They want to make sure their fire extinguishers are in place.
Which is counterintuitive to think about because you're in a boat in the middle of the water, right?
You're right.
I would imagine a lot of people forget that.
They do. And you know, some of the things that we want to make sure they have their life jackets, and also you know, just making sure all your equipments are working functionally, your lighting equipment, your sound. Yes.
Fresh gasoline, I learned that a little earlier. That's even important, which maybe you wouldn't think about, right?
That is very important because our first weekend, we tow a lot of boats in because either the battery is not fully charged. So right now would be a great time to get your batteries charged up for the weekend. And also make sure you have fresh gasoline in your tank. For
sure. When it comes to keeping kids safe on these boats, what is the age limit for needing a flotation device or a life jacket, etc.?
Sheena, that's a great question too, because we get phone calls, and number one questions we have right now is that the kids age 6 and under must have a life jacket or a personal flotation device that's properly fitted for them, and they have to have them on at all times while they're boating. For adults over 6, obviously, you have to have PFDs on the boat readily available for them.
Okay, and that's the kind of thing that you all would check for if you're doing a boat safety check, right? To make sure there's enough on board.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Awesome. So when it comes to navigating the boat, because I grew up on the water quite a lot, and
too.
I'm not sure I was quite legal behind the wheel because I was learning from my parents. I think some of the rules and legalities have changed as far as what you need to be able to legally drive a boat, so to speak.
Yes. Obviously, if you're 16 and over and have a driver's license, you can operate a boat.
Perfect.
However, there are many children out there with their parents that would like to learn boating at a very young age. You can get your boater safety certificate at 12 and over. That's under being supervised directly by a guardian or adult on the boat with them.
Okay, nice. And that's just a one-time situation, and it's good for a year or
it's good
5 years?
Forever.
Forever, okay.
Forever. However, I do recommend, because legality does change, the rules change, laws change, I do recommend every 5 to 6 years to take, to retake the boater safety course, which is provided free by the Oakland County Sheriff's Office and also by us.
Oh, awesome. Good. One thing that we discussed a little bit earlier that I want to make sure we mention here, because when you're out, you're having a good time, the music is going, and there are some noise violations that as a boater we may forget or not think about. So can you explain that?
Yes. One of the biggest violations we also write on the water is because most of our lakes are inland lakes, and it's almost like a fishbowl effect. You have your motor running. When you have your music up, even though you can hear it barely, it is literally echoing throughout that lake. So you kind of want to pay attention to your neighbors and people living off the lake. Make sure your music's not too loud that's vibrating the window.
Wow, yeah, because I would imagine it's hard to really feel how loud is my music.
Right.
You don't really think about it.
Right, because everyone is enjoying the water, the water splashing, the motor's running, and we want everyone to have a great time.
That's the ultimate goal. There's a lot of rules involved, but the end result is we want safety out there so that everyone can enjoy their experience.
Absolutely, and I would recommend that parents to be good role models and bring their kids to take a boater safety course so they can have a wonderful summer together.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to get out on some of our local lakes here in the community this summer.
Good.
Thank you so much for being here to describe so many important parts that go together to keeping boating fun and safe. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, everyone, we've been speaking with Gene Shieh, Keego Harbor Police Officer.
Thanks for watching a segment of The Splash. To catch the entire show or other segments, watch us on Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T Channel 99. Or look us up online at thesplash.tv and listen to us on WBLD 89.3, the all-new Lakes FM.